burns. Ow, super awesome. Hello there guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Survive Russia. This video here I really wanted to be from the woods, from the campsite or from any camp basically, because I really want to go to the woods and camp and hang out, but I unfortunately don't have the time yet. So today we're gonna do the next best thing. We're gonna take a look at outdoors equipment, and it's a truly awesome piece of outdoors equipment. I bumped into it the other day because I wanted to, yeah, the box come out. I wanted to start to pack my stuff and so on because I actually planned an overnight and this and that. I have the item here. No, it's not the belt. It's this little guy here. And before you think, Lars, come on, just hang on. If you're an outdoors guy, you better take a look at this guy here. Maybe you have seen them before on Russian videos, or even Russian military guys are sometimes using them, because these guys here, they are super multi-functional if you know how to use them, and that's what I'm going to show you today. And as I said, it was like bumping into an old friend because he's rather used. And we're going to see more of this here whenever we have time to go to the woods. So let me explain you all about this guy here, what you can use it for. There are tons of uses for it, of course, but there are some very important ones actually. I guess what we can do is that we can call this guy here in English a butt pad. In Russian it's called podshopnika. It's called many things actually, but that's actually what it means, under the butt. Anyway, the first and most obvious use for this guy here, it can be used for first aid purposes as well. This, of course, to wrap it around your waist, and we can just walk around with it like this. When we want to sit down, we can just put it like this, and we have something to sit on. That's super awesome. I mean, these are super popular in Russia. I think they go back all the way to back in the days in Soviet Union, most likely. We have some fancy models here in the shops, which cost like $10, $20 and whatnot. But this one I just made myself, and you can make it yourself as well. But that is the main purpose of it, is that you can just have it wrapped around your waist and use it to sit on. It also warms you here a little bit if you have a tendency to your shirt and trousers are splitting on the back there and so on. This is of course also so useful for that. When the ground is wet or cold or rocky or something like this, no hard ground, and you don't have any kneecaps, or no, you have kneecaps but you don't have any knee pads. And listen to this. It's super wet because we had a lot of rain. That's why we've not been able to work so much on the house. But we can of course take our podshopnika here, and we can sit and use it as a knee protection. That is also pretty obvious actually. But I'll get into some not so obvious but really awesome uses of this little guy here. So now I have removed the belt, and there's one thing we should think about, is that it doesn't weigh anything and it doesn't take up much space. This is 38 centimeters by 32, which is pretty ideal for me. The main thing is that it just doesn't stick out on the sides here, right? But if we remove the belt from it, we get some options. For example, in the winter, if we have to clean a patch or something, you know, for fire or something, we don't have that much snow. Not like here where we have like a meter or something. But in the beginning, when we have a little bit of snow, we can use it to shovel snow with. We can use it to clear a little patch in the forest when there's no snow, if you just want to clear leaves and brush and so on. We can also use it to actually collect large amounts of brush with, if we don't have any other option than that. You know, like leaves and stuff from the ground for throwing onto a shelter or whatever. It's a good debris collector. It's also very good when you have a fire that you have a difficulties getting to run as you want it. Then it's a really good for, yeah, just to get the fire going with. Especially if you have, like me here, it's not really a soft ground pad. It's a little bit hard. If you don't want to carry it on your back here and so on, you can of course just stuff it into a backpack, because this guy here, 38 by 32 centimeters, it will fit very nicely in a backpack. Also, if you're just traveling and so on in the airport and so on, you'll always have something to sit on. You'll have something to put your laptop on, and there's a million of uses of this. Only the imagination sets the limit, actually. But we also have some first aid uses. We will get into that now, I think. Because if we take this guy here, cut it into half, cut it out here a little bit, you can see, we will be able to wrap it around a neck of a person, especially if it's not too soft. Then we can actually use it to fixate a damaged neck, or potentially damaged neck with. And we have here for 2 persons actually. So that is another good, that's another really good use. If need be, you can of course wrap it around the neck if you have some scotch, or if you have some, you should have some cordage, right? Then you can fix it with on the neck with the cordage. We have another super cool use if we get the belt here back on. If we have a guy with a problem with the arm, whatever problem, broken or out of joint or something where you cannot, or collarbone or something like this, we can wrap this guy here around ourselves. I'm most likely gonna screw up the sound a little bit, but once again, with some cordage and or some duct tape, we can actually make a pretty darn good sling out of this here. I used this guy here on the old front lines outside of Moscow when we were clearing ammunition and stuff out there. And one of the things I found it really awesome for is that you can use it as a temporary, or like an improvised plate for your food, for example, right? You can cut bread on it, just don't cut through it. And don't mess it up. But you can wash them, of course, but it's nice. You can cut bread on it. You can put some spread on the bread on this little guy here if you are in the middle of the old World War II trenches, or in a Siberian tiger or whatnot, right? Or on the beach for that matter. Then you have a nice plate, cutting board or whatever. It can also be used very effectively in the winter as a plate. Because sometimes when you make tea, which you often do in the winter, right? And you stand your cup on the snow or something like this, you have a snow drift. It will slowly start to melt, and the cup can and will most likely roll over. It will not happen on this guy here, and you can also have your food items on this guy together with your hot cup of tea or hot cup of chocolate or coffee, which will not tip over because the snow is melting. That's super awesome. Another thing you can do with this specific guy here, if it's not like a shop-made one with a nylon or whatever cover and so on, then we can always cut a corner or cut a slice or whatever, but we can cut a little bit of a corner like this guy here and light it up with our lighter. But be careful, because it will most likely drip. And we can use it as an accelerant, because it's it's dripping, because it's burning pretty darn well. If we don't have any other timber like birch bark or whatnot, or tinder, then this guy here burns. Ow! Super awesome. And then we get a burn mark on our little finger here. That is not so awesome, but I think we'll survive it. Of course, I've completely forgot. When you sometimes have to rest in the woods or something like this, or you're sleeping out, you don't have any ground pad or anything like that with you. This guy here is actually pretty awesome, because you can put it where you feel you need it the most. Maybe on the upper part where your lungs are, maybe here around your kidneys or whatever, or you can roll it up actually. You can roll it up like this and use it as a pillow, That's also sometimes very nice to have a pillow in the forest. So that is some of the many uses for these guys here. You should seriously consider try and make one and bring it with you, and you'll find out how awesome it is. As I say, I was like, hey, good old friend, we're gonna see much more to this guy here whenever I have time to get to the woods. And hopefully that'll be very soon, in a couple of days. So guys, please check the links in the description, and please consider supporting the channel and all that good stuff. Big shout out to my patrons. You're awesome guys. I really appreciate your support. So guys, once again, check the links in the description. Please consider supporting the channel and so on. And until next time, get out and train, get it done, do something awesome. And see you in the next video, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Good to see you all again.